Good morning. Hi, Alicia from Treviso.
Hi, Alicia.
We're just
Good
starting.
morning. The Saturday at 10 a.m. The people who are very studious. We have on now.
Well, I'm Emily.
Mhm.
I'm from Cambridge in the UK.
And I'm Gabriel. I'm from Birmingham, which is also in the UK.
And we are both in Rome at the Pontelingo School. And we want to know about you. Oh, we have Andrea.
Andrea and
Valeria. I remember Valeria from before. Okay. Fads and trends.
So, happy to see you as well, Alicia. Okay, so great. In this focus activity, we're going to be discussing fads and trends, vocabulary related to fads and trends, and some comparatives. In particular, some more subtlety, I think, when we're using comparatives, how we might integrate some subtlety into our vocabulary there. Okay, so what is a fad? Guys, do we know what a fad is? Trend might be more of a, I don't know if trend is more of a explicable word for the students. It's and how do they differ as well?
Hi, Sergio.
Hi, Sergio. Nice to have you on again. Agnole.
Agnole. Good. We recognise everybody.
Yeah.
This is good for Alicia.
Yeah. Alla mode. Exactly.
Nice. Yeah.
How does that differ from a fad then, Alicia? And everyone else?
I think that's also true. Something cool, some à la mode, in fashion.
Yeah.
But a fad.
I don't know if people are replying to what is a fad.
Yeah. Oh, I could put that question back up. Oh, sorry. Oh. We could just explain. It always makes me uncomfortable to sit while we're waiting for messages. To sit
just in case nobody's replying.
Yeah.
Okay. So a fad. What is a fad to you, Emily? What do you think?
I have in the we've got something like a special way of trend. And Alicia doesn't know the word.
Okay.
I think a fad is kind of similar to a trend, but it's negative. It carries quite a negative sense if you say something is a fad. A trend you could use in lots of different ways. The word is a little bit more flexible. But if something becomes very, very popular for a short period of time and then disappears again very quickly.
I think like you say as well, I think with fads as opposed to trends, fads are shorter as well. I think in a way trends have a slower rise in fashion and then maybe a slower decline, whereas fads are very short-lived as well. In a way, I think fads are more impulsive as well.
Yeah, I mean, it could depend on the thing, because I think with something, maybe one person would say it's a trend and another person could say it's a fad of the same thing. And if you don't like it, then you could call it a fad.
I don't know though, because I'm not. I feel like fads. I feel like trends in a way have more cultural impact to some extent on the general fashion and the idea of what's cool. Whereas I feel like fads are a bit maybe more about a specific impulsive object, or maybe a specific kind of impulse in some way, and they don't affect the general trend or fashion of society quite so much. They're a bit more vapid and kind of, they come and they go.
More superficial.
Yeah, more superficial in a way.
I think a fad definitely should be something superficial. But I think a trend could be, I'm thinking of the adjective trendy. If you say something is trendy, it doesn't mean that it's going to be a significant part of any sort of development. I think if you say something's trendy, it could be a fad, really. We like to have these little debates live on YouTube for you guys.
It's difficult though, guys. These are quite specific terms, especially fad, I feel.
I think the most important thing to remember with fad is that it carries a negative sense if you say something is a fad. But Gabe doesn't quite agree.
I don't quite agree, honestly. I don't agree. I think fads are more. Oh, we have some answers here.
Oh yes, yeah.
Alice said, reggaeton at the beginning seemed like a fad, but now it's a trend. Can we use this word for music, for example?
I think you can use it for music.
I think you could as well.
It's often less. I don't know if it's so common in music, because I think.
I think fads in particular might be more common in almost like in the kind of commercialized world, if that makes sense. In that, I don't think we use fads so much to talk about art, even though I know music can be. When we talk about reggaeton, in my opinion, it is not art, but but even though music can be heavily commercialized, I think the fads in a way often are related to things that are affected by kind of the monetary sphere more.
Yeah. When I think of a fad, I think particularly of toys for children. If you think of some children's toys, they come and maybe for 3 or 4 months, children are obsessed with this new toy, and then it finishes and it disappears and everybody forgets. So it does come and go very quickly.
I think the one thing we agree on, perhaps, is that fads potentially are more short-lived. They don't last as long as
Yeah.
trends. Would you agree on that point?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's.
But I think trend is more flexible. I think you could still say something is trendy.
Yeah, that's fine. I agree, but I feel like it's still more longer lived than a fad. You don't say something's faddy because it's been and it's gone.
No, I think
in a way.
But I think if you could say if there's a new toy that everyone's obsessed with, you could say that toy is trendy. Even if it's or it was trendy for 3 months last year and then it disappeared.
Yeah.
I think we need to continue.
I think
We
so.
need to move on.
The fad of wearing miniskirts in the past was a sort of obsessive behaviour.
Oh, I'm going to say.
I think that could be a good example of a fad. Yole. Yeah. In that it was very short-lived, and actually I quite like this idea of obsessive behaviour as well.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like this very fierce, emotionalized movement that quickly disappears again as well.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on. Sorry.
Okay, cool. So we have some more discussion things here. We aren't going to watch a music video, but we can use this photograph to answer the questions. So we can talk about these wonderful jumpers and things in the photo, and also the hair, the facial hair. Are they in style? Why or why not?
I think with the lack of available hairdressers in our current predicament, I think we're all moving slightly in the direction of I certainly am.
Yeah, Gabe, you're not too far off this
I'm not too far off this guy, Ian. I really like this, actually, what Bruno said. I think the fads has the kind of idea of a mania in some way. Something that's very, that's very kind of crazed. I absolutely agree. I think it is a mania. I think even more so perhaps than trendiness. I think fads could be heightened emotion in that way. That's really good. Nice.
I want to know about these people.
When do you think these people were trendy?
No, are they trendy? I mean, the question is in the present anyway. Yeah, good, Alicia. Okay, that's good. A couple of things. So I would say, I think this is quite a common error to confuse there and they. But we need to say they are not in style because it's the three people. They are not in style. And then their sweater, this is plural. So their sweaters aren't trendy, nor even their haircuts. Good. If you had to choose a jumper, Gabe, which one would you have?
Ooh.
No, don't apologise, Alicia. That's no problem. That's the whole point.
Oh, blimey. The one at the front is violently garish, I think. I would go for the one at the back. Also, the one at the back has long sleeves, which I feel is slightly...
In for a penny, in for a pound, so I would have the one at the front.
You'd have to go for the, yeah.
Which is definitely worse. Would they fit in with their style today? What would they need to change?
Question to students.
Yeah.
Please tell us. Or if you're still replying to number 1 as well.
Yeah. I'm always amazed how busy it is at 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning.
It's true. It's true. It's the morning rush hour, isn't it? She doesn't seem like badly dressed at all. She seems fine. I mean, we can't totally see what she's in, but
yeah. That's good, Bruno. So what should they change? Yeah, the lady. I mean, it's still a bit 70s.
oh yeah, definitely. But
It's still kind of indefinably 70s, but it's not
I feel like she could pass as in some way vintage or retro, though. Whereas these two guys on the left, they've gone to the wrong vintage stores, if anything.
It's the bow tie of this guy at the back. I mean, that's just what makes...
I didn't see that.
I just noticed it looking at a slightly bigger one, but it just pulls the whole thing together.
It matches his moustache, if anything.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, this guy at the front, he's definitely past it. But this guy, I feel like you could definitely see people walking around Hackney or something dressed like this. Hackney Village.
Andrea says they need to change everything. Yes. And Yana said maybe the car they were driving doesn't seem trendy.
I'm just going to get rid of it so I can see again. Huh. I don't know.
I think the car is quite trendy in a way. That's the only thing I would keep in. Potentially.
I like this.
They would be perfect in awful sweaters.
I'm not sure if Alicia is completely kidding or if an awful sweaters party is a thing. It sounds like something hipsters would do.
Sweater party. I think she's invented that, but I want to go to.
I want to go to an awful sweaters party now.
Well,
too.
There are ugly Christmas sweater parties. That seems to be a thing.
Did you just Google it?
Yeah, I think also the one at the back, the sweater at the back, could even pass as an ugly Christmas sweater.
It's got a bit of red and green, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously the sweaters, hilarious, and also the bow tie.
Even though nowadays some guys...
It's true. They are kind of coming back into fashion, aren't they? Particularly among hipsters.
Yeah. I wonder if they know that word, hipsters.
Yeah. I think we have hip on the next slide as well. So it might be.
But the word hip is not hip.
No. But that was... It was trendy at one period, at one point in time, wasn't it? It is interesting how language like that as well, obviously kind of with slang, has trends too, in some way, or styles.
Yeah. Maybe even fads.
Maybe even fads, yeah.
Each era has its own style, absolutely. And that's a good thing. We can laugh at it later. We can laugh at terrible sweater vests later, but it's good. We need the variety is the spice of life. It's fun seeing the picture. I think that the fad of colourful sweaters has was come back last Christmas. I bought a sweater like that in the picture with an elk. Yeah. So like Gabe was saying about bad Christmas sweaters. That is quite trendy at the moment. Yeah. And I said trend. Yeah. I think it's been not just this Christmas, but I think for a few years now, it's been a bit of a.
Yeah, and but Larry is saying I think Christmas sweaters are more fashionable.
Yeah.
Hang on. We've got a contrary opinion down here, though. I was thinking about these types of parties. My boyfriend has a ton of awful Christmas sweaters. I feel like at Christmas time, it's more. You're allowed to dress in more of a stupid sense of fashion in some way. I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like terrible Christmas jumpers have been maybe not a trend, but they've been something that people do for a long time, because the first Bridget Jones Diary film, where even the book, which is now at least 20 years old, the original book, involves a Christmas party where everyone is wearing terrible jumpers.
It's almost like a kind of a leveling uniform, isn't it?
I think it was one of those just bad things that hipsters then adopted. Young people then adopted as a trend that they wanted to embrace.
I kind of want to. Can you post an image into the chat?
I don't know.
In any way, I want to just. I want to post an image of a hipster, of a typical hipster, into the chat.
You could send it to me, and then I could share that tab if I have it open.
If you have the thing open.
And then it will be on the video as well for whoever watches later.
Can I share a thing? I can probably share a thing as well, can't I?
Oh, you can, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's simpler.
I'm trying to get right. Okay. Okay, sorry. Let me just. I need to find the ideal hipster here. Okay.
Well, Yola says the boys are standing and staring at the cameraman. That isn't trendy. So I'm just, that's an interesting idea. So maybe trends even in the photography. I think their positions are not very trendy for these days. This guy at the back with his arm out and his hand on his hip. I think in a more current photo shoot, you wouldn't have people standing like this. Well, while Gabe is finding the perfect hipster, what for you guys, for the students, what are the attributes of a typical hipster, do you think? What are the stereotypes?
I mean, we're kind of talking about this kind of stuff, you know. When Emily, you'll have to direct me, but yeah, like hats, this kind of thing as well. Here, we've got the bow tie in here as well. The beard is currently massively in fashion as well. Yeah, okay. I think this one is a kind of typical hipster, I think. Anyway. I think I've knocked you off now, sorry.
No, I can add it back.
That's fine. Okay. It's nice to know we can do that, actually.
Yeah, that was good, actually. That was easy. Okay. One of my colleagues wears this type of sweater, always with brown trousers. It's his personal style. Yeah, good. Cool. I wonder if our colleague is a hipster or if he's just an old man.
maybe in some places in the USA, the fad is still like this. Maybe.
Yeah.
I could see some places being stuck in time in a way.
Oh, I think Sergio is answering my hipster question. Yeah. A big beard for the men. Yeah. Yeah. It's a kind of weird.
What's hipster female fashion like?
Very similar, but minus the beard.
Exactly the same. Son's beard.
I think it's always a kind of combination, maybe colourful hair for, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I think it's always
I feel like often though, like male hair with hipsters seems to be getting longer and hairier, and sometimes female hipster hair gets shorter as well. You get a lot of kind of very cut, trim, short female hipster hair.
Yeah.
And sometimes even shaved all off too.
Yeah. I think there's a little bit of maybe the gendered differences are kind of, they're less pronounced. Is part of what the whole hips, well, not for the men actually, because that's all very big beards and things are all quite masculine, typically masculine things. Well, okay.
This stereotype has long beard, trousers that arrive at his ankles, and he wears braces. That's a good one as well.
That was just
wear braces too.
That you put up, yeah. Okay. Shall we go forward?
Yeah, let's move forward. Sorry.
Okay, so some vocabulary to connect here. We just want to match the vocab with the definition. I'll read the red. Very fashionable in the moment. To be socially accepted by others. Popular or fashionable. Not modern or current. The return of something from the past that becomes popular again. To become popular. Okay.
Okay, so outdated.
Oh, Yola thinks for the photo before, under the sweaters, it would be better if they weren't wearing shirts. I don't know about the vest. I see it. I kind of see it for the jumper with the sleeves, but the vest one without a shirt underneath. Anyway.
I do, yeah, maybe it would work for the guy at the back, but this guy on the left, I don't know. It's like a kind of, like a sweater wife beater type thing.
A sweater vest. Okay. I think we've got it from Sergio. Yeah. And Bruno and Alice. Bruno corrected himself. Good. Oh no. Oh. Blast. Okay, I'm going to open that again.
I can maybe share.
I just clicked on the wrong bit.
Hang on.
Sorry. I'm going to delete that. So you can face this. It's nice and big for a moment.
Can you see that?
It's just coming. Got it.
Yeah, okay.
Do you want to get rid of the
Right.
CC? Oh. Did you do that on purpose?
I thought you had one open. Oh, right, okay, sorry. I thought you had one open.
I can get it.
But no, it's fine. Sorry, guys, give us a sec. Oh no! It's logged me out.
Okay. We'll have a race and see who can find it first. Okay, I've got it.
Okay.
It's loading now. Okay. Ah! Okay. Ready.
Okay, so
Oh.
to catch on.
Has anyone given us number 2? Not yet. Well, I've done it now. I'll leave it up. Okay. To catch on, to become popular. So a new trend catches on or doesn't catch on. To fit in, guys. I think we're going to get a lot of answers all at once.
Whoops.
Oh, good. Okay. So you're at
To fit in. Okay, yeah, we have.
yeah.
Be socially accepted by others. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. And then to come back, we already have your list said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yole.
The return and Bruno and Alicia. Yeah. To come back, the return of something that was popular. Exactly. In style.
Yeah, good from Alicia.
Alicia and Yuli.
Oh. That one.
Yeah, that's right. I'm there for number 4.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah.
They're all coming in at the moment.
In trend, in style and on trend, their definitions here are very similar. So I think people popular or fashionable. Lots of people for in style. Oh no, okay, yeah, that's good.
Hi, Tony.
Hi, we have Tony.
In trend means fashionable. Yeah.
And 6th one. Very fashionable in the moment.
I would.
There's
I was just going to say, I would more readily say, as Emily was saying earlier, trendy. I think. I don't think people say on trend as much. I think trendy is a better way of discussing trends.
Yeah. Trendy is more common. Or maybe it's more British. I don't know. Are you writing? Did you write trendy? Right. There's a big space between. Well, Gabe, I'm not sure we can hear you now. Say something?
I wasn't talking.
Oh, you weren't talking. Okay.
No.
Okay. I could see your mouth moving and there was no sound.
It's just how I think.
Oh.
To come into fashion. Sorry. To come into fashion, yeah, that's equally a valid way about talking about trends as well, Tony, I guess.
Yeah.
To come into fashion, I think, is more of a general, all-encompassing way of talking about style. Yeah.
And stylish is good as well from Sergio.
Stylish.
In style, like trendy. Yeah. Yep. Okay, should we go through some of these comparisons? Oh, I don't know if we shouldn't do some more of the grammar instead of more conversation. What do you think?
We could do some of the comparatives. Why not?
Okay.
Just so there's more content, I guess.
Yeah. Small differences and large differences. We're going to see some different types of, some different comparisons, comparative phrases. And you guys need to decide, does it describe a small difference or a large difference?
Cars today are far safer than when they were first introduced.
Far safer.
What do we think?
Yeah, so as Alice said, it's a large difference. Yeah. Far better comparative. It's like saying much safer, far safer. Okay. Musical instruments haven't changed much over the years. While they are slightly less bulky, the construction of the instruments is basically the same. It's slightly. Yeah, good, Tony. Good, yeah.
Small difference, yeah. While we're on this, what does bulky mean? Can anybody define or give me a synonym for bulky?
Is Bruno talking about the previous example?
Yes, because that's about cars, isn't it?
So that's good, Bruno, absolutely.
Bulky. Anybody else have an idea of bulky?
Alice has written. Has suggested this. I think Tony has suggested deepy. No, I think you've invented a word there, Tony. I don't know what
he's put deep above and then he's gone for deepy as well. Okay, I think Alice is quite close, but I probably less so with important. Bulky is just something which is big, but specifically too big. Often it's too large or too dense or weighty. It's too big. It's a negative sense of the adjective big. I think if something's bulky, it's too
slightly
big.
uncomfortable shape as well, maybe. Yeah.
Larger, more weight. Yeah, like that as well. Yeah.
Okay.
In the 1990s, grunge style was on trend. While it made a short comeback around 2015, the style was not quite as punk-inspired as it was in the 90s.
Do you want to take Alicia's comment, or shall
You go for it. I feel like I've over-explained bulky and running myself in circles.
Well, bulk is a noun, but it's not a synonym for storage. Storage means that you can keep things in a place. So a cupboard is a type of storage. Bulk means just a lot of mass. Something has bulk. It means it has a lot of mass, but I think also maybe visually it looks like it has a lot. I'm trying to think of an example of something bulky. A double bed is very bulky. It's big and uncomfortable to move.
Do you remember old televisions before we had flat screens? So now all of the screens on televisions are very flat, whereas old televisions, you'd have to pick up, and they'd have all sorts of wires coming out of the back, and they were really heavy. That's an example of a bulky object, and trying to move one of those things, it was not a pleasant experience. That's something bulky.
So it has a lot of bulk.
Yeah.
Laughing at Tony's comment.
I don't think we'd use bulk so much for people. I think bulk are about objects, really.
Yeah, I agree. Depends on the type of instrument. For example, I think that the guitar is slightly different compared to the past. Oh, that's for the instruments one before. Instruments. Yeah. Is slightly different. Yeah. Maybe guitar is what that comment was thinking of, probably. Radios are less bulky. Yeah, definitely. Computers. Technology is a good example because technology has all become much smaller. Okay, anyway, yes, we have lots of good from Andrea, Tony, Sergio. Small difference. Not quite as. That's good. Women's hairstyles are nowhere near as large and complicated as the beehive of the 50s. This, by the way, is the beehive, this type of hair.
I see, okay.
So Bruno plays classical guitar. Yeah. A classical guitar is definitely bigger than acoustic or electric. The previous one, I can't remember what it was. It was definitely a small difference. Not quite as. is a small difference.
Tony said he's fond of hairstyles. Which hairstyles? Just hair in general?
Maybe he misses having hair.
Oh, that's true. Okay, yeah. Sorry, that didn't dawn on me. Small difference for the combing.
This one is not a small difference.
No, I'm just reading Yolo's comment.
Okay. So these are the 4 comparisons. I think the most difficult ones to use are these ones with as, not quite as, nowhere near as. So maybe for the students, we only have a minute. If you can you make an example with not quite as, or nowhere near as? I'm going to make an example. Okay. My example. So I think, Tony, that's pretty good, but we need a verb, and would needs another verb as well. So I am not quite as sensible as I would like to be. But it's a good example. Well, we have to finish, but I think your messages will arrive after, and we can still write back. So I guess goodbye.
I just feel like we might get a flood in a minute. Does it matter if you overrun with another channel? Wait, okay. There's a large difference.
Not really, no.
A classical guitar is not as adaptable as electric guitar for rock music.
Great.
Yeah. And you could use nowhere near as well, potentially, in that phrase too.
Yeah. Nowhere near as adaptable as electric.
Near as adaptable. Wearing trousers in the current fashion beneath the ankles is far different from wearing in the past. Far different from wearing in the past, true, or far less fashionable. Oh no, hang on, far more fashionable, right? And from Sergio, televisions are nowhere near. No. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it. You do it. Televisions are nowhere near as thin and large as televisions of the 80s.
Great.
Excellent. Yep.
Great stuff.
Super. Great. Well done, guys. Some really good examples there. I had a really fun discussion as well. Good. Okay. See you. Have a nice weekend.
Oh.